Welcome to Running on Reddit. r/just no mother-in-law, where mother-in-laws are a piece of work and just plain old nasty. This morning, I was taking my daughter to her figure skating training, and mother-in-law asked to come with us so that I could drop her by the beauty salon to see her cosmetologist. That was fine with me. We get in the car, I was driving, and my daughter and mother-in-law were in the back seat. I buckle my seatbelt, then I turn around to check if my daughter buckled hers. She normally does without reminding, but I check just to be sure, and then I look at mother-in-law. She's sitting there like a cake, her seatbelt just hanging next to her. I politely ask her to buckle her seatbelt. She looks up at me, smirks and goes, "For what? You only have to wear a seatbelt in the front seats. I'm in the back seat. Don't have to." What? Since when? Mother-in-law. Don't you think the manufacturers of cars wouldn't spend money on the backseat seatbelts if they weren't necessary? And it's not like I care that much about her safety. If she wants to break her neck during a collision, that's her choice. But the problem is that in case of a crash, unbuckled people in the back seats can kill those in the front seats. In this case, me. So I just said, either you wear your seatbelt, or we're not going anywhere. My daughter will miss her training, and you will miss your cosmetologist appointment, and I will just waste my time. But if we are not riding safely, we are not riding at all. Period. For a few minutes, we actually sat in silence, and then my daughter nudged me that we have to go, or we'll be late, and I was like, "It's all up to your grandma." Mother-in-law looked into her watch and panicked. "Oh god, look what time it is. My cosmetologist. Go already." I said, "Seatbelt, mother-in-law, and then we'll go." Finally, when she realized I'm not going to let it go, she did buckle her seatbelt, but not without huffing and puffing and mumbling and muttering to show us how irritated she is that I forced her to take a simple safety precaution. She was like, "Somebody's really have nothing else to do but pestering me with trivial nonsense. Have never buckled in the back seat. Now I must sit all chained up like some prisoner. If you're about to crash, then don't get behind the wheel at all." Bullcrap. I thought, Jesus, if someone knew they were going to crash that particular day, no one would drive, would they? These things happen regardless of our plans. Unfortunately, we made it everywhere without being late, and I decided I'm not going to take mother-in-law in my car anymore if I'll have to check constantly if she's wearing her seatbelt or not, like a toddler. It fascinates me. She has lived in this world for more than half a century and still, she doesn't know you're supposed to wear a seatbelt, no matter where you sit in the car. If not for your own safety, then for those in the car with you. Mother-in-laws, the new backseat driver with projectile capabilities. Limited to one use only. Safety is advised. Here's the deal. A month after I had my daughter, I asked my mother-in-law to add my fiancé onto her Costco membership so we can buy our diapers and wipes there. She says, "Oh no. Don't worry. I'll just get you guys a membership." I respond, No, don't spend the money. I was just wondering if you could add him to your account." A week later she says that she got us a Costco membership, but not just any regular membership, the business executive membership. The best membership they offer. We get 2% cash back every time we shop. Only the greatest for her granddaughter. I mean, with the way she told us about the damn membership, you'd think she secured us for life or something. Some more time goes by, and we realize that sharing a card is annoying. So, we go up to the counter to add me to my fiance's account with the intention of getting me a card too. The employee says that we can only have 2 people on the account. We look at the employee confused and ask who the other person on the account is. My mother-in-law. So really, she got her and her son a membership. She is the owner of the account, so she gets the 2% check at the end of the year after all of our diapers, wipes, food, etc. purchases. Plus, I don't understand why she made such a big deal and then ended up doing what I said to do in the end, and then told us she did otherwise. In conclusion, I'm going to drop $60 and get my own damn membership because I'm annoyed and I'm petty, and I'm going to celebrate by getting a hot dog at the Costco food court. So there. Edit. The original reason I even asked her to add my fiance, we were gifted a box of Kirkland brand diapers and liked them, so we wanted to stick with them. Mind you, we are brand new parents and that's back when I was super afraid of using a bunch of different brand diapers on my baby's booty. I thought that mattered so much, haha. Mother-in-law saw this and said that whenever we needed to go to Costco to get them, that she would take us. Cue horror music. The last thing I wanted was to rely on her like that and see her more often than I need to because we don't have the best relationship. So I said, hey, how about you just add my fiance to your account in hopes to avoid that whole situation from happening. Not mooching, it was a mental health survival move at a wholesale price. The Costco membership is totally worth it for the hot dogs, churros, and pizzas. Yum. Dear future husband and I are planning our wedding currently, and my mom, who has extensive event planning experience, is making this whole thing a breeze and being so helpful. We saw my future mother-in-law last week and she asked me lots of questions about the wedding. I only told her the basics because I didn't want her finding something to get offended about. Future mother-in-law got very offended that we didn't bring her on venue tours. She said I wasn't as stressed as I should be, and I mentioned that's because my mom is being so helpful planning the wedding. At the end of our visit, future mother-in-law asks me to tell my mom they should get lunch sometime, since she's too shy to ask herself. I reassured her my mom would love to get lunch with her, and if future mother-in-law so wishes, all she has to do is reach out herself. My mom is well aware that future mother-in-law is a just no, and called me when she saw that future mother-in-law was reaching out, just to make sure everything was alright, and she wasn't needed for damage control. I assured her that future mother-in-law simply wanted lunch. My mom called me today and let me know they got lunch today, and future mother-in-law grilled my mother for nearly 4 hours about the wedding, adding many of her own requests. Some of her most notable requests include 1. Future dear husband and I should have a tea ceremony in which the bride and groom serve tea to the elders of future mother-in-law's family during the wedding. This requires its own table and chairs setup. 2. I should have multiple wardrobe changes, which must include a red dress. 3. We must seat future dear husband's younger brother next to a suitable young woman that he can marry. It is even more preferred if we don't sit them together initially, then claim there is an emergency and he needs to be reseated next to the young woman. 4. We should kick anyone out of the wedding that doesn't arrive before the posted ceremony time, and when taking pictures, anyone who isn't in position when the picture is scheduled to be taken should not be allowed in pictures. She stated all these things needed to happen due to tradition. My mom, with her shiny spine, asked, "Did you know I'm not only black, I'm German?" Basically, my mom went into all the traditions her family has for weddings and instilled the fear of fried chicken, yodeling, and clog wearing into future mother-in-law. Then she simply said, but maybe they won't incorporate all of our family traditions. Maybe they'll just have a beautiful American wedding, to which future mother-in-law agreed that might be best. I can't thank my mother enough. She literally answered every question this woman had without giving too much information, and taught her wedding 101, since future mother-in-law apparently didn't know anything about weddings. Very proud of my mom today. She doesn't take crap from anybody, especially when it comes to her children. The mother is the MVP. She handled that salty mother-in-law like a pro, and tarnished that shiny spine of hers in the process. Let me know in the comments below, how would you have responded to mother-in-law's absurd requests? If you like the content and want to support the channel, like and subscribe right now, or you'll be running on fumes. Recently, I went to my class reunion. We all graduated when we were 18. Now 15 years have passed and everyone is in their 30s. It was a really nice event, very interesting to find out what your old classmates have been up to all this time. My former teacher had made a small photo album for each of us. It consists of our pictures back when we graduated and our current pictures. Some people have changed a lot, some, me included, haven't. The next day, mother-in-law came over, and when she noticed the album, a phrase came out of her mouth that wasn't that unexpected, but quite unpleasant nevertheless. She said, "Look at everyone. Everyone has glowed up over these years, even the ugly girls. Everyone but you. Unattractive then and unattractive now. See, that's something my mother-in-law has always held against me. She's one of those women who loves regularly spending a lot of time to make themselves look neat and attractive. Salons, manicures, pedicures, hairdressers, stylists, and heavy makeup. That's my mother-in-law. She strongly believes that that's what every woman should do. I'm the complete opposite. I don't pay that much attention to my appearance. To me, the most important is to have basic things like a clean body, clean clothes, washed hair, and clean teeth. I don't wear makeup. My friend, who's a hairdresser, trims my hair every few months. When it comes to my nails, I just cut them short and forget about it. It's so unimportant to me. And that's why mother-in-law thinks of me as an ugly duckling and sometimes spits out little comments like, "Doll yourself up a bit. How can you walk around like a grey mouse? I don't understand what my son has found in you. Normally men don't look at women like you. Dye your hair for once. Your natural color is so dull. I won't look like you even on my deathbed." Luckily, I have a very thick skin when it comes to comments like this, and normally that doesn't offend me at all. I hear it and forget about it almost instantly. I don't really care what people think about me. If you don't like me, I'm not going to rip my butt in half just to make you like me. So when she said it, I was like, whatever. She obviously thinks very highly of herself, even though I feel like someone who's completely happy with themselves will not say hurtful things to others. Then mother-in-law was like, you know, just a little advice from one woman to another. You should really look after yourself and make yourself look a little prettier. Otherwise, you might lose your husband. My son is a great man, of course, yet he's only a man. And men don't like ugly women. I thought, well, then you obviously don't know your own son. I highly doubt that's the main reason why he married me was my looks. I seriously don't think that's the biggest priority when it comes to choosing who you want to spend your life with. It's a factor, of course, but what's the point of a pretty face if the person who has it is a butthole? Later that day, my husband came home from work and noticed the photo album too, commenting on how cool and interesting it was. I told him that his mother obviously disagrees because she was over earlier and called me ugly. It didn't matter to me, but it did to him. I wasn't even expecting such a reaction because he called mother-in-law straight away and asked her to explain why would she say something like that to me. Mother-in-law said that she only explained to me something I should know, that a woman must be beautiful to not lose her marriage. My husband was like, Mom, don't forget that most of your beauty can be wiped off with a wet wipe. My wife, on the contrary, always has the same face. She didn't like it, needless to say. Well, I haven't seen mother-in-law without makeup, but my husband said it's not a pleasant view. After that roast from OP's husband, mother-in-law should seek medical treatment immediately and apply water to that burn in the meantime. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the bell or you'll be running on fumes. See you in the next video.